everyone, and welcome to our virtual music lesson number 6. Today, before we get started, I want to give a shout out to Jakaya in 5th grade. A few days ago, she posted a little video response on Quaver, and it was really awesome to see you and to hear from you. All of us special teachers that are posting our lessons on YouTube would love to hear from everyone, and the easiest way to do that is just to simply scroll down all the way down to our videos. So it doesn't matter if you're watching Miss Shupard, Mr. Smith, or Miss Bell. Scroll all the way down to the video and then leave a little comment on the bottom. You can say hi or reply to the lesson. It would be great to hear from everyone that's watching. So today we are going to be exploring sound and rhythm with a fun DIY or do-it-yourself project using some canned drums. So let's get started with that. So now we're going to be exploring pitch in music using kind of like a DIY or do-it-yourself project. So to start, we've talked about pitch before. In music, pitch is just how high or how low the sound is. So if you remember when we were practicing singing and we were doing different warm-ups, and we even did one of these warm-ups together in one of my previous YouTube videos here, when we did those lines that go up and down. So remember when we were down here, it was low pitch. When we were up at the top, it was high pitch. In the middle, it was just your regular middle normal voice. So we have low, middle, and high pitch. So today, we're going to explore that pitch using some DIY drums. If you were ever in drumming club, you might remember that when we played on the drums, the bigger drums were a lower pitch, and then the smaller drums were a higher pitch. So we're going to explore that pitch today using DIY or do-it-yourself little can drums. So take a look around and see if you can find any cans. I'm going to be using these 3 cans today for this project, I guess you can call it. And the cans can be empty or they can be full, so mine still have stuff in them. Or if you want, you can use empty cans and then they'll be hollow inside and they'll make a little bit of a different sound than mine will today. Or if you can't find any cans around you, maybe you have any type of containers you have, maybe plastic containers, glass containers, they can be full or empty. Maybe you can try using bottles. It's up to you. Whatever you can find, you can really make music, or you can really make music out of anything you can find. You can even just drum straight on your table. It doesn't matter. You can use anything to create music. So notice that my 3 cans are all 3 different sizes. So we have the biggest one here. It's a little bit taller than my middle one, and it's definitely quite a bit bigger than the middle one. Then we have a middle one. I think this is kind of like a normal can size, your typical can size. And then we have a small little tiny one right here on the end. So just like I said with the drums before, when we had bigger drums that made lower pitches and then smaller drums that made higher pitches, the same thing is going to happen here with your cans. So once we get to playing, you'll see for my cans, for my example, my bigger can, the one that's wider, taller, and just overall bigger, is going to make a lower sound. And then we're going to go through, this is going to be our middle sound, and then the smaller one is going to be our highest pitch because it's much smaller, so it makes a higher pitched sound when we play on it. Now, instead of playing with drumsticks on top of my cans or my drums that I have here, I'm going to explore the different sounds that I can get using different objects to hit or to play my drums today. So the first one that I'm going to start off with, get your drums set up, so whatever you're using, if it's a can, if it's a real drum, maybe you have a real drum or a container of some sort, get your drums out. These are the different things that I'm going to explore using sound and hitting the drums. So the first one I'm going to do, super easy, I'm just going to use my hand. So I'm going to use just the soft part of my finger. So you can already hear it's a little bit quiet. but you can hear that there's the different pitches. So we have low, middle, and high. So you can hear already that there's a difference in the bigger can and the smaller can. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my nail, and it's going to be a little bit louder of a sound. Okay, so it's a little bit louder, a little bit more strong than just using my finger. Using the nail is a little bit louder. Now I'm going to get out my supplies that I've collected to try and get different sounds from my cans. So here is what I have that I'm going to try. I have a handful of different things here. I'm going to move these over a little bit so you can see what I'm going to test out today. So we already did our hand. Now let's see what I have. I have a few different type of pencils. So I have just a regular old pencil, it's sharpened, and it has an eraser on it on the end. Then I have a colored pencil. It's pretty similar to my regular pencil. It also has an eraser on the end. Then I'm going to use a lead pencil. Now moving on from that, I have just a regular pen, nothing special. One of these clicky pens. And then I have a few different types of marker. So I have a small thin marker, I have a medium-sized marker, and then I have a bigger marker. And the last things I'm going to use, I just grabbed some sticks from outside actually, and I'm going to use a smaller stick and then a slightly bigger stick. And we'll see what kind of sounds they make on top of our little drums here. So I'm going to start with my 3 different types of pencils that I have here. When we're trying and testing out these sounds and the pitches that we can get with our drums and with our, I'm going to just call these drumsticks for now, we're going to test out both sides of whatever drumstick that we're using. So for example, with my pencil, both sides are a little bit different. This side is thinner than this side, and it's also a different material. So the wood and the actual pencil is a little bit hard. Then when we get to this side, the eraser is much softer than the actual wood and pencil that's on this side. So we're going to test out both sides to see how they sound different, or maybe if they sound similar, we'll see when we test it out. So starting with my colored pencil, okay, so that's the sound. Now we're going to test the eraser part of it. So you can hear it's a lot softer. Since the eraser is a softer material, it's going to be a little bit more quiet. I quite like the eraser actually. I think I like it a little bit more than the hard tip of the pencil. Now let's do our mechanical eraser or lead pencil. Or not mechanical eraser, mechanical pencil I mean. So we're going to do both sides. All of these pencils are going to be a little bit similar, but let's try both sides. Okay, now let's try eraser side. So that sounds pretty similar to my other eraser. And last one, this is probably gonna sound similar to what I already did, but let's try just a regular pencil. Let's do eraser side first. And if you do, whoopsies, if you do have 2 pencils, maybe you can use both hands. Alright, so I'm going to take these, put these aside, and now I'm going to move on to my pen and see what kind of sounds I can get out of my pen. So let's use the pen side first. So now I kind of want to compare it to how the pencil sounds. So you can see, I don't know really how to describe the different sounds, but when you're testing out your different drumsticks, explore and see how the different materials are similar sounds and how they can make different sounds. Now let's use the clicky point of the pen. Oh, this one is actually a little bit louder maybe than this end. Very interesting. Now let's move on to my 3 markers. So I have 3 different sizes. Hopefully we'll get 3 different sounds out of each of these markers. So let's start with the thinnest marker first. And I'm probably going to try both sounds here too and see what happens. So actually for this marker, it's interesting because the cap here, I don't know if you can see it, but it's pretty empty inside. But then this side, it's a solid marker at the end. So the empty side makes a little bit of a different sound than the side that's full. So if you have markers, there's one side, and then they make a little bit of a different sound. Okay, let's move on to our medium-sized marker. And this might be the same. The cap is a little bit hollow compared to the other side of the marker. And now let's try our biggest marker. Okay, and now I have 2 more drumsticks that I'm going to test out. I have my sticks from outside, I have a smaller stick, and then a slightly bigger stick. So let's do the smaller one first and see how that sounds. So this is really interesting. I think this is the most quiet sound that we've gotten so far. It's pretty gentle compared to the other ones. And that's probably because the wood is a little bit softer, especially like if you compare it to a marker. The marker plastic is pretty hard, but the wood is a little more soft, so it makes a softer sound. So it's a little different. Now I think I want to compare our wood to the eraser, since I really like that eraser sound and it was nice and soft. So that's really interesting. They almost make the same sound, the soft eraser and then the softer wood. Okay, now last one we have is our bigger stick. Let's see how this compares to our smaller stick. So I think this one is a little bit louder than the smaller stick since it's a bit bigger. So now I'm going to jump over to those food rhythms that we worked on before, and I'm going to play some of those rhythms using my drums, and then I'm going to use my pencil for a drumstick today. And I'm actually going to use the eraser side since I really like the sound that I got from the eraser. So let's start. We're going to do the same rhythm that we practiced before. So this one, I'm just going to say it one time so you know which rhythm, and I'm also going to maybe put it up on the screen here. So the rhythm that we're going to do is hot dog, grape, soda, apple pie, hot fudge sundae. Okay, this time let's read the rhythm together using tas and TTs. 1, 2, ready, go. Hot dog, grape, soda, apple pie, hot fudge sundae. Alright, so now I think I'm going to choose one of my cans. Let's go with the biggest one this time. I'm going to play that rhythm and say it. How about I'm going to say the food names and play the rhythm that I'm saying on my biggest drum today. So if you get your drum, maybe have a couple drums like me, maybe you just have one. So get your drum and your drumstick out. Let's play this together, saying the food names and playing the rhythm on your drum. Alright, starting with hot dog. Ready, go. Hot dog, grape, soda, apple pie, hot fudge sundae. Let's do it again. If you have a couple different drums, like I have 3 drums, I'm going to play my rhythms on the different pitches of my different sized drums. So I'm going to do the same rhythm again this time. Alright, starting with hot dog. Ready, go. Hot dog, grape, soda, apple pie, hot fudge sundae. Alright, now we're going to do this rhythm together. Alright, so I think I'm going to start and say the food names. Let's do one at a time. I'll say the food names and play them on the drums. So first one, chips and guacamole. Ready, go. Chips and guacamole. Next one, ready, go. Apple pie. Next one, ready, go. Hot dog. And last one, ready, go. Pepperoni pizza. Now let's say the whole rhythm together using the drums and saying the food names. So I'm going to use 3 of my drums. You can choose whatever you want to do with your instruments. Alright, ready, go. Chips and guacamole, apple pie, hot dog, pepperoni pizza. So you see that time there's a lot of different things that you can do with your canned drums. You can hit the middle, or you can hit the side, or even the rim. On regular drums or our bucket drums too, the rim sounds a little bit different. So there's so much you can do with your little DIY drums at home. Alright, let's do another rhythm together, and this time I'm actually going to use 2 different pencils, and I'm going to use the eraser side of both of my pencils. So this time I'm going to use 2 hands to play some of my faster rhythms. It'll be a lot easier if you do have 2 pencils or 2 of anything to play, 2 sticks, whatever you have on you, to play some of the harder rhythms or some of the faster rhythms once we get up to the... Alright, for this one, let's say it first and then we'll play it. So I'm going to put my sticks down. Let's say the food names first. So let's just do the first measure. So apple pie and chips and guacamole, just those 2. Alright, say it with me. Ready, go. Apple pie, chips and guacamole. One more time, same thing. Ready, go. Apple pie, chips and guacamole. Alright, now let's do the second measure, or the second group. You see that the measures are divided up by that little line in the middle. So our second group, tater tot casserole. Ready, go. Tater tot casserole. One more time. Ready, go. Tater tot casserole. Alright, this time let's say the whole entire thing, all of the food names. Alright, starting with apple pie. Let's do a little bit faster this time. How about 1, 2, ready, go. Apple pie, chips and guacamole, tater tot, casserole. Alright, this time let's just say the rhythm. So we're going to say tas, titis, and tika tikas this time. So let's say it together, starting off slow, then we'll do one a little bit faster. 1, 2, nice and slow. Ti, ti, ta, ti, ti, tika, tika, ti, ti, ta, ti, ti, ta. Alright, now let's do a little bit faster. 1, 2, ready, go. Ti, ti, ta, ti, ti, tika, tika, ti, ti, ta, ti, ti, ta. Alright, now that we have those down, I'm going to play on my drums, but this time I'm going to use 2 of my drumsticks. So I'm going to use the eraser side of 2 pencils, because when we get to these faster rhythms, or maybe they're a little bit harder for some people, it's going to be harder to play it like that tika tika. You can do it, but it might be a little bit tricky doing it with 1 drumstick or 1 pencil. I'm going to play it with 2 different pencils. So they don't have to be the same. You can use a marker and a pencil, a stick and a pencil, whatever you have around. Use those for this time. I'm going to use 2 pencils. Alright, ready? So this time, how about we say the food names? Let's go slow first and then we'll go faster. Say the food names and play it on our drums. Alright, 1, 2, ready, go. Apple pie, chips and guacamole, tater tot, casserole. Okay, this time let's do the rhythms, saying tas, titis, and tika tikas. Ready, go. Ti, ti, ta, ti, ti, tika, tika, ti, ti, ta, ti, ti, ta. Alright, now this time let's do a little bit faster version, saying the food names. So a little bit faster. 1, 2, ready, go. Apple pie, chips and guacamole, tater tot, casserole. Alright, that same faster tempo, let's say the rhythms. Alright, so starting ti-ti-ta. 1, 2, ready, go. Ti-ti-ta, ti-ti-tika-tika, ti-ti-ta, ti-ti-ta. Alright, great job! Thank you very much for watching all the way to the end of this music lesson, and I'll see you next week. Bye!